Okay, let's take a look at the market. These are the S&P 500 futures that we're looking at here. We're going to look at the weekly. We'll look at my trade. I made a trade today. We'll look at the daily chart and we'll look at the intraday chart and see where the trades of the day were. Let's get started. So here on the weekly chart, you can see 3 weeks in a row now. Today is Thursday, so we got one more day tomorrow, Friday, to finish off this week. Big week, 174 in range. The previous week was 135. The week before that was 142. So the range has been pretty decent range weeks, right? More than enough range to do some trading. And that was true for the previous weeks too. All this, so there was more than enough range to trade all. And there was a few in here that were their bodies were a little bit questionable as the market got a little weak back there and then eventually gave it up. Other than that, this has been just a money-making machine here, right? Doesn't matter if you're trading long, short. I mean, this kind of price moving, guys and gals, is just, you just make wise decisions as best as you can. Trade with the momentum, trade with the trend. And make sure that you're, you've got a decent amount of risk management. You're not taking position sizes that are too big. I think if you do that, you're just going to continually make money in this kind of market. I mean, what we don't have is a market just tracking sideways, right? That's the last thing you want. We have a market that's moving vertically, right? It's not moving horizontally, it's moving vertically. It's either up or it's down. That makes for great trading. Okay, so look, getting specific about the weekly chart here, we can see we came down and touched the 5063. It's been hovering around this back and forth for the last couple days. You want to be paying attention to the hourly chart for the members because that's where the money's being made for most of the days. There's been a couple tight range days mixed in here, and if you get those, then you want to look at the 5-minute chart. And you really want to make note of that. So you may ask yourself, well, how do I know a large range day versus a small range day? Well, that's kind of a skill set that you have to acquire, right? You have to have a sense for the market. So work on that. Maybe I'll make a video on how I come to conclusions about what the market's doing on a specific day, right? And really the charts are going to, the intraday charts will help you. They'll help you make a good decision about what to be looking for opportunities. All right. Now, the hourly chart on this kind of movement, when you got these big movements like that, like we got going on right now, the hourly chart's really a good place to look because it's usually going to play pretty nice with the cycle lows that are on the hourly chart. So for members, you want to be looking at the stream, right? The stream that's up for the S&P 500, you want to be making use of that. That doesn't mean you ignore the 5-minute, 15-minute charts either. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. You need to be aware of 5 charts at all times. I know this sounds crazy, but it's just true. Multiple time frames. Every day you should be looking at the weekly chart, you should be looking at the daily chart, and you should definitely be looking at the intraday charts on the stream so you know what's going on. The weekly chart and the daily chart is going to help give you a sense about overall trend, long-term trends, so that you can stay in the game and trade in the right direction, right? So when you're trading your intraday charts, you want to be favoring the overall direction, right? Sure, the market can surprise you, okay, and it can move against you. But let's just say you have just take a week. Week's kind of short, but let's just say you have a week, 5 days trading days, and you have 3 or 4 good trading days and 1 bad trading day. Well, you're making money, right? And risk management should help you mitigate that 1 day's worth of loss, right? Let's say you take a position, you pick a direction. Let's just say you get it wrong. You might even get your direction correct, but you got your timing wrong. It doesn't matter how it goes bad. Sometimes it goes bad. We want to, of course, minimize as much as possible the bad decision making, right? So that's the way I look at this, right? I mean, overall, right now the market's moving down. Obviously, you're going to be shorting. When I get to the daily chart, we'll kind of talk about how we need to start getting careful here. But for right now on the weekly chart, you can see it playing really nice. Look at this. I mean, the first week it came down, almost touched the 51.69. The next week it came down, touched the 51.69. This week it's made its way all the way down to 50.63. So naturally, on the weekly chart, we'd be thinking 49.37. We should be thinking that 49.37 is the next possible big movement down. Okay. Now there's some stuff in between here on the daily chart that we'll look at. But the market probably will get down to this 49.37 before this is all said and done. Is it going to happen? Is the next week just going to be another big week down? That I can't say. Okay, and we'll look at the daily chart and kind of give you my opinion about what I think may possibly take place there. But finishing up here on the weekly chart, we got the SMI pointing straight down. MACD is just really starting to cross over. As I said yesterday and the day before, man, there's going to be a lot of damage here to the market. Now, it may not all happen right here in this pullback, and we get this bounce. Might even get a bounce way up here, and then I don't know, something way out here in 2025. I don't know, but when I'm looking at this, it's hard to imagine. Well, it just looks like the scenario is going to be this is going to come down for a while. You know, how does it come down? How does it play out? How does it oscillate? That we got to wait and see. But it looks like to me there's going to be a lot of damage to the market here for quite some time. That I think will extend beyond June. But like I said, there might be a bounce here, and then we'll have to think about what's going to happen out here going into 2025. Okay. The other thing I talked about is we need to really be careful about this cycle low in late May to kind of mid-June area, because it could surprise us and extend. Sometimes when these things get running and the sell-off gets momentum, sometimes it'll just get legs underneath it, or I should say it'll lose its legs underneath it, and it'll just start to extend. If we see that and it gets out there to like July and the market's still pulling back, then we know we got a behavior change in the market. And we know that this cycle low the behavior of the market would change. So that's another thing we need to pay attention to. I mean, more than likely the market's is gonna bottom out somewhere in this area and then bounce. But if it doesn't and it extends out into late June or July, then we know we got a bigger scenario on our hands than we thought, and that is possible. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay. All right, let's take a look at my trade, then we'll look at the daily and the other charts. This is my trades for the day. I traded one E-mini on the June contracts for the S&P 500 futures, and I traded 5 E-micros. And about $1,500, $987 on the E-mini, and $525 on the E-micros. So, I mean, what am I doing here? Why did I do this? Basically, my goal was to trade 1.5 E-minis, right? The funky looking 5, 1.5 E-minis. And the way you're going to do that is you do one full contract on the E-minis, which is the larger contract, and then you just take 5 on the E-minis. That effectively gives you 1.5. Because this 10 of these micros make up one of the E-minis, right? I could have done 1.25, right? Or maybe not 1.25, but 1.2 or 1.3. I could have done 3 contracts over here. Or 1.4, but I decided to do 1.5. So the micros are going to help you fine-tune your position size for risk management. That's why I do it. Okay, I don't always talk about this, but this is one of the techniques that I'll use, right? So my account can handle, no problem, 1 E-mini. It could even handle more than that, but then it kind of puts me sometimes in a place where I'm not super comfortable. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable at 2 contracts. It's not a big deal, but if the market were really to bounce super hard, could get in trouble. Well, I'm going to avoid that trouble. Like, I want to give myself, since this was shorted, right? I shorted these, right? It says plus, but basically I shorted them. I'm giving myself, like, just think of the market's going down like this, right? And let's say I enter right here. And I'm expecting the market to come down to this point, and I'm going to get out and make my profit. But if the market surprises me and just takes off right away, or gets halfway down here, I make a mistake and it just really takes off. Now, I want a lot of headroom, like way up there, like way above even the all-time high, to be honest, so that I have room to react. Now, I'm not going to probably let it run that hard, but just saying that I want lots of room up there in case the market does something crazy, okay? So this is why you'll see this kind of situation here, this kind of strategy. Nothing too complicated, it's kind of basic, but 1.5 E-minis, because I'm profiting, maximizing my margin, right? Getting into a comfortable place where I'm not uncomfortable, right? I was never stressed out about these positions because I knew I had plenty of headroom, right? I had plenty of margin left if the market even swung real hard. And when we look at the daily chart, I'll talk about why I kind of took measures to only do 1.5 and let's say not 2 or 3 E-minis. Okay, I still had a nice profitable day here, $1,500. No complaints. I kind of missed the low, 50.38 was down here. I missed it. I had some limits and some stop losses on both sides with an OCO order. One cancels the other. So I was covered, but if I was up, I had to take a nap. I was up really late, so I needed to get a little sleep. And I missed like manually getting out of the position. And I didn't want to use a trailing stop because sometimes the market will have too big of swings, and then you have to kind of craft your own techniques and think about trade management, and everybody's a little bit unique, and I just chose to do an OCO here, which worked out fine. There are other advanced trade management techniques you could do, or advanced trading management, however you want to word it. Okay, this is the 2S platform. They have a lot of different ways you can do this. You can do OCOs, you can do ladders, you can do all kinds of things. All right. I just kept it simple and did OCO. But if I was up, I would have caught that. I would have caught the low. I would have caught it around 50.40, let's say. I would have saw the market was running out of gas. 50.38 gave a little bounce. I would have caught it down in the 40s instead of way up here at the 50s. So it happens. I can't, I'm not a robot. I can't stay up 24 hours a day, right? So you do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to use trade management when you're getting sleep, and you're, you do what you got to do. That's just life. But anyway, really great day. I wanted to just talk about, why did I pick this kind of 1.5 position? Because it was more about risk management and not necessarily taking just maximizing my margin, or taking bigger risks that I felt was a little bit too much, a little uncomfortable. So let's look at the daily chart, and I'll talk about why I took this kind of 1.5 for me personally. So this is the daily chart, and you can see the new day just started right there, but this is the day that just ended is right there. And the range was pretty good. It was about 57, okay? Has that kind of upper wick to it. See that? Has a big upper wick, and the fat of the body is low. We got to kind of watch that kind of candlestick. That kind of candlestick could indicate where it's going to hit a temporary bottom here, right? That's what that candlestick kind of. I'm trying to remember the name of this candlestick. It could be like this could be a tombstone, but I'm not sure. I got to go look it up. In any case, I'm familiar with this kind of candlestick enough to know that this has a bottom feel to it. And we may not actually bottom here, but it's kind of giving some hints. When you got that high upper wick like that, and then the body's like this is something you got to be a little cautious about when you've had a big movement down. The other thing is, look at the SMI here. It's at -84. It's pretty low. This is pretty far down there, and we can see the SMI is trying to flatten out here. All right, the MACD has obviously been negative here for a few days. And the slow line is beginning to basically come down to the 0 line. So we got to respect that the market's pretty low right here, right? And going back to what I talked about in my positions today, for my trades of the day, that's why I backed off on the position size. Instead of trading 2 or 3 E-minis, I traded 1.5. Because I'm getting a feel of the market, maybe run out of gas a little bit, and I don't want to get caught out with some big position if this thing were to reverse suddenly. Okay. Now, let's talk about this daily here. Now that we've kind of discussed why I took a little bit smaller position. And you know what, guys and gals, especially for new traders, and even veteran traders for that matter, it's never really a bad thing to have a small to medium position. Okay? Yes, it's true you may not extract as much profit out of the market, but if you're smart about reading the market, you'll still make profit. If you're wrong about reading the market, you won't be hit as bad. See, and you can mitigate those bad days. So I mean, you just need to really be aware that when the market starts to show great depletion like this, I don't think we're going to bounce to all-time new highs right here, but the market could stall right here. It could bounce for a little bit, simply because we're really low. We've got this candlestick right here that's looking like it may be giving us a little bit of a signal. Maybe, maybe not. What I'll probably do is to continue to be a little bit cautious about my position size, and I'll definitely be taking a very close look at the intraday charts overnight, because I trade futures, so I can watch the action overnight, okay? And I'll be making decisions based on that. That's how I'm going to do it. So for my members that really want to know, that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm trying to get a feel. Is the market still going to pull back? What are the intraday charts telling me? Are they starting to show, like, am I going to see a big impulse overnight? Is the Asian and London market going to gain some momentum? And if it does some unusual behavior and breaks above, especially the 50-hour, like really strong, like, oh, okay. Those would be signs that I'd be looking for, like, wait a minute here. Because so far, we've been hitting the 50-hour moving average on the hourly chart. It's been getting rejected, making money, trading short. But if that behavior changes, that's a little cue that you need to, like, be a little cautious about. Maybe you have to change the strategy. Maybe you don't trade that day. Maybe you just reduce your position size really small and kind of just, So those are all things that I would be personally looking at in the intraday charts overnight, okay? I call them intraday charts, but they're really not intraday charts. They're just short-term charts. Because what do you call a chart that's running overnight that you're watching that's a small time frame? Well, you can't call it intraday, right? Kind of oxymoron, right? They're just short-term charts, short duration charts. And they're very helpful. All right, so now looking at, like I talked about here, looking at this daily chart here, there are some small signs here. Not a lot, but there's a little hint here, just with this candlestick right here, that maybe need to pay attention. The market could be running out of gas a little bit. It may still go down, but caution moving forward is necessary. So now let me talk about the cycles here. April 22nd, we got May 8th. I think I said it yesterday, gonna say it again. There's a small chance here, somewhere here, of a little bounce, like some kind of bounce up in here. Yeah, it may be like let's just say it started right away. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to, but let's say it started away. It may do something like this, okay? It may come up here. It may hit the 50.81 and just say that's it. It may even go all the way up to 52.67. I don't know, it's hard to say. Okay, it could hit here, run out of gas, come back down. Right? Do one of those deals. Now, let's just say we get a really good positive green day tomorrow, or there's a couple more, like maybe it chops down here, because we're kind of getting close to this April 22nd, right? Tomorrow's the 20th. Could still have a big down day tomorrow, is possible. But let's just say we start getting to kind of a choppy zone in here for a few days, right? And then it comes out of it, rises up, falls back down, right? That would be one scenario that could happen. The other scenario is the market just pauses, chops sideways, says, forget you, there's nothing. We got no strength. We're done. We're toast. We're taking off. There's a lot of scenarios that could happen here. All right. But regardless, I think in this time frame from about right now through like the 26th, okay, these are just an area I would maybe tread a little carefully. and just try to trade what the market gives you without getting too crazy with position size. If we get some big runners during the day, by all means, take advantage of it. If you see a big runner in the intraday charts, absolutely jump in. Okay, but that kind of trading is more of a feel trading, whereas this stuff was just, I can almost set it and forget it. I'm not saying it's a good strategy or you should do that. I'm just saying there was more confidence in this big decline. But now that we're down in here, kind of approaching April 22nd, there's something there. There's a little something there, right? It's approximately, that cycle's there's a little something there that we need to just be a little cautious about. So just keep that in mind on the daily chart. We're going to really watch this. I think, though, before this is all said and done, whether we get this big bounce, chop down, whatever is going to happen in the market here over the next few weeks, okay, I do think eventually out here into May, late May, June, middle of June, this area, still think over here, we're probably going to see what we saw on that daily chart, the weekly chart, which I think was 49.36. I think we're going to get down to that number. I think the market will come down to that weekly support. Okay, so these are the supports yet still to come, right in this little bracket. 50.12, 49.70, and 49.36 on the June contracts. I'm just trading futures. I'm not looking at the SPX. I know the prices are a little bit different, but if you want to know my opinion, this is my world, so to speak. I'm trading the futures. You can extrapolate and just do the difference between the June futures and the SPX if you're trading the SPX. Right? It's not hard to do. Just take this number at any given time, look at the June futures, subtract the SPX, you get your difference, and you can just track it, right? Okay, let's look at the intraday charts for the trades of the day. Okay, so this is the 15-minute chart, and from about right here to right here is the entire day that we just ended. Forget it. Ignore these little candlesticks over here. That's just the futures open up for the next day. All right. Okay, so look at this chart, guys and gals. Where would you, like, if you had to pick the absolute best trade, where would you pick? Right, just organically. Sometimes I like to do this. Like, just if you were just like, if you could see the future, man. Last night when the futures opened up way over here at 5 p.m., just like they are today right here, they open at 5 p.m. and you could just see the future, right? Or you just had this amazing ability to know exactly when to enter. Where would you enter? You only get one entry. Does this play the game of you only get one entry? Which one are you going to take? I mean, this entry is not bad, right? Is the best one? In other words, does it have the most range? No. This is the best entry, right? Up here. And why? Because it has the most range. Right? Let's say you had no fear of shorting. You don't have any bias. You don't, just let's play pretend here. You have absolutely no bias. You're a trader that goes long or short. You don't care. None of those bias prevent you from being an awesome trader. You're just looking for maximum profit. Well, where is that? You would trade this trade here, correct? All right. So why am I going through this kind of funny, pretend exercise? Because as it turned out, the Get Us Plus indicator did give us the trade at the most optimum time at 10:15. So it absolutely told us, bingo, this is a good time, or approximately around this time, is a good time to take a trade. Now, new members are coming in, which is awesome. Welcome, new members. Okay, and new members, of course, have a lot of questions, and that's great. That's why I've made a couple videos out there. One is a video for new members, which is basically the Get Us Plus indicator video. And there's, I obviously have a slew of other videos on my channel, but that's the big one that I usually point new traders to. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. You'll find it in the member chat channel. I posted it several times in the last few days, so just scroll through the member chat channel and you'll find it. If you can't find it, just hit me up on the member chat in the Discord server, and I'll give you the link for it. And by the way, if you want to become a member after this video, stick around to the very end, and I'll show you how to do it. I still don't get it why people haven't become members to my service for $7.99. It's just absurd. I mean, you saw I made $1,500 today, right? Again, I understand that everybody's account sizes are the same as mine. Some are bigger, some are smaller, but divide by 10. You made 100. You could have made $150 today with a really small retail account, right? How many times is $7.99? I call it $8 going to $150. Okay, it goes into a lot, right? Goes into a lot. That's like nearly 20 months of membership. So, take advantage of the membership while you can, because it's insane. People hold on to $8 when they could be making a lot more money trading the market. But getting back to the video here, you can see that this entry was really, really good, right? It just doesn't get any better than this. Now, I'm not saying the Gibbs Plus indicator always gets it right every time, but this entry was just absolutely another day of just bang on entry. Crazy good. Now, would you believe it that I was up late, up really late, or up early, whatever which way. I was up like right on this time over here. I had placed an order and went to bed, and I had it at, would you believe it, I had it at 50.90? I had it at 50.90. And I took a little nap, got up. It was up in this area. So I took a trade up in here. Like I canceled my order and took a trade at like 76 or something. But this number, you know what this number up here is? We'll look at it I'm going to show the hourly chart this today. I don't normally show it to the public, but I'll show it. But remember this when we go to the hourly chart. This number right up here, right around 50.90, was the 50-hour SMA, funky looking S there, SMA, okay, which stands for simple moving average. The market, sure enough, ran right up to the 50 moving average, got rejected like it's been doing day after day after day, and gave it up huge. So over here, late when I was up really late, I was like, okay, the market's going to come up and hit the 50-hour simple moving average. But I saw that it got rejected here. It came up like, oh, great. It did. I was expecting somewhere in the night for London to run it up to the 50 SMA, but it didn't happen. See, so what am I talking about? Why am I mentioning this? Because I'm an experienced trader, but even I don't always get optimal entries, right? I knew my instincts told me that the 50 hours were to enter, but I entered at 76. So I had to wait through all this mess, and then the market gave it back up, and I still made a lot of money. But think about it. If I was more patient, just like staying really, really patient, and it's not always easy to stay patient, man. Okay. This is an extra 14 points of profit if I had just waited. Maybe 10 to 14 points of profit I would have picked up. I mean, guys, gals, for what my position I had today, that would have been about maybe like $900, extra $900, $800-$900 in here, if just by waiting to get up here to take the trade instead of doing it here. That's big money, right? So, not that I'm trying to beat myself up over a trade. I still made a lot of money today. The point is that you're not always going to get absolute optimal entries. If you're like, I was tired, I had to get some sleep, life gets in the way, there's other things you're doing. You can't always be perfect, right? Because it was really not clear. Look at this big drop. I mean, I actually did not get out of the market here. I waited. It ran all the way up and came all the way back down because I was pretty sure the market was going to give it up today, and it did. But I really, truly, if I really wanted to do this right, would have been get out here at $1,000. I had like $1,100 in profit or more. I had maybe like $1,400 worth of profit here. I should have got out, chilled, re-entered, and made the profit here. You want to talk about really maximizing profits, okay? But we're balancing life with trading, right? So we're not robots. It's hard to catch everything. All right, pretty cool stuff. This was just absolute optimal entry. Bang on. Let's move over to the hourly chart, then we'll finish up the video. All right, so here's the hourly chart. Now, I don't almost never show this to the public because members pay for this stuff, okay? But I'll occasionally show it just kind of as a promotional deal for the membership. Here's the cycle low I had set for today, was this big old yellow cycle low. Okay, and did it hit it? Boy, did it ever. I also had a little green cycle in here. Yes, this was all drawn last night over here. I drew it over here. Now look at this cycle low, this little green one. Nailed it, 8 o'clock this morning. Okay, so I had all of this time stamps moved over here so members could see it, and they could trade accordingly, right? They could do what they need to do: trade their options, trade futures. They don't, they have their own trading style, but they can use the service as they see fit, right? So here's where I took my trade, right here, which wasn't a bad entry, but this was even better. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully you can see the power of cycle analysis, right? Now, I mean, this is kind of funny. I mean, it just so happens the way I have the chart stretched out here that this actually literally followed the curve. Okay, it doesn't always do that. Okay, it just happens to be a bit of a coincidence here, but you get the point, right? I mean, look at this one. Obviously, there was some opportunity right there. This was a massive choppy day. Ugly. Big, huge choppy day. Okay. So tomorrow, here are the cycle lows. Yes, take your screenshots, do all that. Everybody's getting a freebie today about where we think the cycle lows are going to be on the hourly chart. But if you want this consistently, become a member. Stick around the end of the video. Okay, pay the $7.99. Stop being such a cheapo. I mean, my goodness, man. I mean, we're talking $8. Invest in yourself already. And then you'll get this every day. You'll get the streaming charts, which this is one of the streaming charts the members get to see 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Let's say that we have let's talk about this and I'll finish up this video. Let's say we have a behavior change in the market. Here's the blue line, by the way, on this chart is the 50-hour moving average, which right now is about 50.81. Of course, that's going to change as time goes on. This green line is a 24-hour moving average. You can see that London got rejected up to 24-hour. See that? Came right up and got rejected up to 24-hour. And then domestic USA ran it up to the 50. All right. But let's say overnight, as the SMI is bottoming here, let's say it starts to come up, which it probably will. All right. Let's just, hypothetically speaking, and let's say that overnight it just rocket ships and blasts above this 50. Maybe the 50 starts to go like this. That would be behavior change in the market, like a big behavior change. Okay. Excuse me. Because look back here. The blue line's 50. It got a little above it over here, but not by a lot. It touched here, got rejected. It didn't even make it here. It just got rejected here on the 24-hour. Here the 50 got rejected. They came together, got rejected. Today got rejected on the 50, right? You can just see it all along the line, right? So if the market gets a behavior change, if the market has behavior, how will we know if the market has behavior change? Because it'll blast above the 50 and be really strong. It might sustain it. It may pull back, but that'll be kind of a hint that, hold on a second. Okay? So those are the kind of things we'll be monitoring to make sure that we're trading in the right direction. Okay? So we've got timing here, right? We got the issue of timing with the cycles. SMI is going to help us with timing because it's cyclical, right? Whatever. Okay. But we have to stay on top of our game, so to speak, and be prepared for a behavior change, and that'll show up on the hourly chart as breaking above the 50-hour for sure. If we get a kind of a little bit of a bullish bounce here, okay, which could happen, it'll show up on that hourly chart. You'll know it's happening. And then you can make some adjustments to your position sizes. You can decide whether just to stay completely out of the market. You might want to trade a little long if you're aggressive, whatever, okay? All right. There's the freebie. There's the promo. All right. Stick around to the very, very end here. I'm going to go and talk about becoming a member if you want. You can hang around here. For everybody else, hope you enjoyed the video. We've had some amazing trading, both in the S&P 500 and gold. It's been absolutely banging. I mean, my goodness, gold too. Gold was a little bit choppy today, but there were some big opportunities in gold even today. And there's going to continue to be opportunities in gold and the S&P 500 for sure. Which, by the way, I stream both of those products. Okay, that's it. I'm going to switch over to the end of the video to talk about those that want to become a member. Stick around for that. For everybody else, have a good one. Okay, so you want to become a member. That's really good. There is a link in the description right below this video. It's a discord.com link. Make sure you read those instructions. Once you've done that, click on the discord.com link. It's going to bring you over to get a server. You need to click on server shop. It's going to bring you to this page. There it is, guys and gals, $7.99, just like I talked about earlier in the video. I mean, it's a steal. Invest in yourself. Buy 3 months, spend $25. Okay. The streaming charts are down here. So we looked at all 3 streaming charts. Well, we looked at the 15-minute and a 1 hour. There's also a 5-minute chart. Yes, the streaming charts are here. Just click on them when you join. You get the streaming charts. They're up 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. Okay, you're going to get the Giddus Plus indicator in there. You're going to get the cycles, as I just showed, how good those cycles were on the hourly chart. I mean, they've been amazing. Okay. There's also a gold. I talked about gold in the video. There's a streaming chart for gold. So when you join, just ask me in member chat, hey, Giddus, where is this stream for gold? And I'll give you a link for it. You can watch the streaming chart for gold. I have a few members that watch gold every day. They go trade and they trade gold. They're probably trading micros or whatever they're trading. Maybe they're trading micro futures. Maybe they're trading miners. Whatever they're doing, they're making some money trading gold. Got a couple of members that are doing really good in gold. They're in there almost every day making money off of gold. Okay. So you got 2 streaming charts, S&P 500 and gold. The 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 1 hour. They both have the Giddus Plus indicators on them. They have the cycle analysis on the 1 hour chart. Okay, gold's a little bit looser than the S&P 500 for cycles, but it's still good enough to where you can make some money. Whenever the Giddus Plus indicator indicates there's going to be a possible good trade coming up, it sends an alert to this channel right here. So just right click on this channel and turn notifications on. And then for gold, it's the same thing. Every day I put premium symbols into the premium symbols channel after the market's closed. So you want to check those out. There's some really nice symbols in there sometimes. There's future symbols in there. There might be industries in there. There could be, usually there's optionable stocks in there. There might be occasionally some symbols that are short. Look like they're getting to be shortable. So you want to check that channel out. There's some nice symbols in there. Okay, the Giddus Only Post channel. This is where I'll post this link for this video. You can go into this channel and you can watch the video. Or you can take it to YouTube and watch it there. Either way is your choice. So you might want to right click on this one too and turn notifications on. Also, at the end of the night, after the market's closed, I always send out a nightly email Monday through Thursday. Okay, so I'll put a notification there, hey, emails have gone out. And speaking of nightly emails, when you join, if you want to get the nightly email, put your email address in the emails only channel. Okay, I'll pick it up. And you're going to get a daily chart of the S&P 500. On that chart is the cycle analysis is on there, really nice, just like the hourly chart has cycles. There's support and resistance lines on there. Okay, and I usually give a small paragraph of what I think the market's going to do, okay? So super nice. A lot of people join just for the emails only. And some people join for the stream, and some join for both. Okay, fixed income. Occasionally I do trade fixed income, which is usually corporate bonds. If I do that, I'll put it in there. Solar activity. I forecasted some earthquakes about a month ago, maybe, and the forecast was accurate. We did get some pretty big earthquakes in the South Pacific. We had some 6.4s and 6.5s, and we had a 7.4, I think, in I think it was Taiwan. Yeah, believe it or not, the sun actually does create earthquakes on the earth. Surprise! This is going to be my 4th time probably that I just put out a video the other day, earthquake warning, and talked about why this sun activity creates earthquakes. You might want to watch a really good video. Just go to Giddus Realis If you're watching this video, you can just click on Get Us Realist down somewhere on the video and you'll get all my other videos. Just click on videos for Get Us Realist or something. You'll see them all in there. I put a video out the other day on kind of an earthquake warning. I think I called it Electric Universe Creates Earthquakes. Really good video. And I put out a forecast while warning that we're probably going to see some really big earthquakes here coming up in the next few weeks. So be prepared for that. So I keep track of that because it also impacts, believe it or not, the marketplace. I won't dive into all the impact that the sun has on the earth and how it plays out. It's a very in-depth subject matter. But yeah, it does affect the market as well. Okay, then up here, these other two channels, Member Chat and S&P 500, is pretty much where all the chat takes place among the members. So just think about this. Everything in this vertical rectangle you're getting for $7.99 per month. You get the streaming charts for the S&P 500. You get the streaming charts for gold. You get the alerts for both. You get your premium symbols. You're getting the videos every day that I put out. You're getting the nightly emails. Okay. And if you got any kind of support issue, just put it in member chat. Usually it's just, hey, I'm not getting my email, and that'll take care of it. Okay. You got to talk about the rules. If you don't read the rules and you break the rules, then I get in your face about it. That's going to be your fault. So you must read the rules when you join. Okay. The rules are, there's refund rules in there. So make sure you understand what the refund rules are. There is the be nice to everybody else rules. I don't want to hear any nasty language on the server. I won't tolerate that. No profanity, no links of nasty stuff that link to garbage or nasty images or any of that stuff. Okay. Be respectful of everybody on the server. Okay. Don't bring your leftist politics on the server. I'm a conservative. I'm a Christian. Okay. I don't make any bones about it. You know what environment you're coming into. All right. So don't bring your leftist politics and junk like that. I don't care what political affiliation you have. You're more than welcome to join. Just don't bring your leftist junk on the server. Okay. Because otherwise you're going to get confronted. Also, there is the rules in here that I'm not a financial advisor, guys. I do not give financial advice. Right? Everything on this server and in this video and all my videos and everything, no matter what I say or anybody else says on the server, is strictly educational purposes only. Okay, no financial advice is implied whatsoever. You are responsible for your own trades. You got to take ownership of your own trades, guys and gals. That's the way it is.